We are just one day, 24 hours away from MLB opening day. Like, oh my gosh, this is Christmas in April. I cannot believe how excited I am for the start of the season, start of more content, start of new things on this channel, and just the start of some normalcy back in our life again. Baseball's back, we can go to games. I'm so excited. Today, we're gonna be kind of previewing the season a little bit more. An absolute banger coming at you. One MVP candidate from every single team in Major League Baseball. Essentially, who's gonna be the MVP for each team, or who's most likely to win the MVP from every single team. Of course, for the 2021 season. All 30 teams, 30 players. It's not necessarily the best player from every team, but someone who I think has the best chance to win the MVP. I mean, I don't know how many times I can say it. It's pretty obvious. So as always, if you guys do enjoy today's video, make sure to drop a like on it. That's the best way to always show your support. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. If you are not yet subscribed, click that sub button, join the team. Get in the comment section down below. Let me know who you think is going to be the MVP for every team. Make sure you drop me a follow on all my social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. Links are in the description, as well as to my podcast, Mets'd Up. New episode today if you didn't see it. And of course, you know me, I gotta give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. On Skillshare, you have the ability to explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. Some of the topics that I'm extremely interested in that I think you guys should also take a look at: freelance and entrepreneurship, leadership and management, and even productivity. The class I'm specifically looking at falls under freelance and entrepreneurship. Stock Market Fundamentals by Zach Hartley. I am extremely interested in the stock market. It's something I should be involved in. It's something that we should all try to be involved in. Skillshare gives you a reliable and trustworthy platform to learn from someone who's an expert, and by taking his class, I can then use that knowledge to my own advantage. What makes Skillshare unique is that it's curated for learning, meaning that there's no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes so that you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. Oh yeah, and by the way, it costs less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. And my favorite part about working with Skillshare is that they have a great opportunity for you guys, my viewers at home. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of a premium membership so that you can explore your creativity. I've told you how valuable Skillshare has been to me. What are you waiting for? Click the link in the description. Be one of the first 1,000 people to click that link, and you get a free premium membership trial. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Getting today's video started, we got the St. Louis Cardinals, and their MVP, I'm going with newly acquired Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado, man, what a fantastic player he is. It could have gone to Paul Goldschmidt, but I'm liking the pick of Arenado. Arenado is just flat out one of the best players in baseball, and he's finally going to be in a winning environment with the St. Louis Cardinals, a team that's going to be competing for the National League Central crown, and I think he's going to be a huge part of their success if they have it this year. From 2015 to 19, this guy averaged 40 homers, 38 doubles a season in 157 games played, 124 RBIs, 300 average, 937 OPS, and yes, the offensive numbers are not going to be as high as they were in Colorado. In St. Louis, it's a little more pitcher friendly, but Nolan Arenado is a good hitter no matter what. Yes, his away splits were lower, and still, Nolan Arenado also has one of the best gloves in the league at third base. So for me, with the St. Louis Cardinals, we're going Nolan Arenado as the best MVP choice. Keeping it in the NL Central, Chicago Cubs MVP Ian Happ. I know I didn't pick Bryant, Baez, or Rizzo. I'm going with Ian Happ. After what he did last season, what he did in 2019, I think Ian Happ is really destined for a great year in 2021. Switch hitter, plays a pretty good center field. While the batting average isn't particularly high, the on-base percentage keeps going up and up as the years go on. We saw him hit for a little more power last year, 12 homers, 11 doubles in 57 games. He is an integral part of that Cubs offense, and I think that if the Cubs are going to have any success in 2021, it's really going to be on the backs of Ian Happ. You know what you're going to get out of Baez, Bryant, and Rizzo pretty much every year. Ian Happ out in center field can provide some really big power for them at the top of that order. Next up, we're heading out to the Bay Area. San Francisco Giants, weird team to go with, but I ended up picking Mike Yastrzemski. I think we can all agree that Mike Yastrzemski is the best player on that team, and out of anybody, probably has the best odds to win the MVP or be the MVP of that team. Since coming up, Mike Yastrzemski has just been really good. He's played in 161 games in 2 years, 31 homers, 36 doubles, 90 RBIs, and 892 OPS, plays a pretty good outfield. Yastrzemski is kind of a really good player. He had a late start to his career coming up at 28, but at 30 years old, he's in his prime, and he's destined to do big things for the Giants this season. He would be their MVP. Finished 8th last year in the MVP voting. Why not again this year? And you know what? Let's flip it to one of the Giants' rivals, the Los Angeles Dodgers. So many great players to pick, but we went with Mookie Betts. How can I not pick the second best player in the league as the MVP for that team? Whether it's at the plate, on the base paths, or in the field, Mookie Betts is the best player on this team and the most valuable one. I mean, they added him last year, and what do you know? The Dodgers won a World Series after making it a couple years and coming in second place. Mookie Betts in a 55-game season, 16 homers, 9 doubles, a triple, stole 10 bases, 927 OPS, and that's still not even the best that he can possibly play. We've seen him have an OPS almost at 1,100 for a full season, where he won the MVP in 2018. This guy's value is immense on any team, and specifically the Dodgers. He's the difference between them being really, really good and them winning a World Series. We saw that in 2020. The Cleveland Indians Indians MVP has to be Jose Ramirez. Even if Francisco Lindor was on that team, Jose Ramirez is probably still your best pick. Ramirez went off in 2020, 17 homers, 16 doubles, a 993 OPS, finished second in the MVP voting, 17 and 18 finished third in the MVP voting. I mean, this is a guy who just goes on tears at the plate, one of the best hitters in the league, one of the best eyes in the league, doesn't strike out, puts the ball in play, walks, does it all, hits for power. Jose Ramirez is just so good. Like, really, so good. Detroit Tigers. Jeimer Candelario? I think that's the pick. We saw Jeimer finally kind of break out last year, hitting for some power, hitting the ball really hard out there in Detroit. And while we all know that this guy isn't going to win an MVP this season, on the Tigers, who seriously lack some pop, he can really provide that for them. He's going to be probably their main home run guy this year. Main guy looking to drive in runs. And if he puts up an 872 OPS like he did in 2020, he's going to be in line for a really strong season in 2021. Jeimer, breakout candidate, co-host of the Mets'd Up Podcast, James Shiano. This one's for you. You're going to be pumped. Jeimer Candelario, Tigers MVP. The Atlanta Braves MVP. It's not Freddie Freeman, despite winning the MVP last year. It's Ronald Acuna Jr. Ronald Acuna Jr. is a top 5 player in the league, no doubt in my mind. And despite having a slow start to the season last year, he still finished with a 987 OPS and arguably might have had his best season. Granted, 46 games, but slash line wise, I mean, 250 average, career low, but a 406 on base, 581 slugging, both career highs by a good margin, 987 OPS. He hits home runs, plays good defense in the outfield, moving to the corner, which is going to help, steals bases, one of the most exciting young players in the game. He's my MVP pick for the Braves. The Rockies have one obvious choice, and it's Trevor Story. He is by and large the best player on that team. He's about the only really good player left. Blackman's good, but Story's elite. And in Colorado, we're going to see him put up crazy numbers, hits for power, steals bases, has a great glove at shortstop, and he's in a free agent year. After this season he's walking, he's going to get paid. Trevor Story is going to ball out, expect an OPS coming around 900, and expect him to be an MVP candidate even if the Rockies are terrible, which they're going to be. Story's just that good. Similar to the Rockies, the Texas Rangers have one clear and obvious choice for their MVP on their team, and it's going to be Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo is the modern day Adam Dunn, strikes out a ton, but also hits a ton of home runs and hits the ball very far and hard. 2019, we saw a little bit of a different Joey Gallo. Little higher average, little better on base. The slugging was through the roof and he had an insane year. 2020 was down, but everybody on the Rangers stunk, so I can kind of chalk it up to that. And COVID, not worried about Joey Gallo, tore it up in spring. This is a guy that you need to watch, especially because he might get dealt at the deadline to a contender. Joey Gallo, so good. 10th player of today's video, Milwaukee Brewers most valuable player, it's Christian Yelich. I mean, you guys have probably heard me hype him up nonstop all off season. This is going to be a guy who is going to win the MVP in 2021. He's my favorite choice. There's no reason he shouldn't. 18 and 19 and OPS over 1,000 for both seasons, won the MVP in 2018, finished second in 19, led all slash lines across the National League in 2019, and 2020, while the numbers were down, still hitting the ball extremely hard, just kind of unlucky. So I'm not worried about Yelich's 2020. Weird season. 2021, oh yeah, Yelich is back. With the Houston Astros, I've got another player coming up on free agency here, Carlos Correa. The Astros offered him like a 10-year, $20 million a year contract, and he declined it, rightfully so. And after the season he has in 2021, oh, he's going to be getting paid a lot more. 2020, not a good year, but in years past, granted, with some cheating involved, we've seen the potential Correa has. He can be a 30 homer, 30 double guy, playing good defense at shortstop, and having an OPS in the mid 900s. That right there is an MVP candidate, and I think he's going to be the difference maker for the Astros in 2021. 26 years old, going into a free agent year, he's going to be playing really well. For the Minnesota Twins, I kind of went a little unconventional. Byron Buxton. I think this could be the year that we finally see Byron Buxton fully put together. Hit for a decent average at the plate, start to actually be a little more patient at the plate and walk more, steal, of course, like a bunch of bags, be healthy, play good defense. I think Byron Buxton at age 27 is really going to take a huge step forward and be an MVP for the Twins this year, and possibly the reason why they win the AL Central over a team like the White Sox. He's a difference maker when he's on the field, and he's only got room to get better. So for me, Byron Buxton is my MVP choice for the Minnesota Twins. Now, for the National League, if it's not Christian Yelich, I've been really liking the Bryce Harper MVP train, and it's going to stick with that for the Philadelphia Phillies choice for MVP as well. Harper casually is still really good. I don't know why people are sleeping on him. If you look at his 2 seasons with Philadelphia, he's got a 903 OPS, 385 on base. The batting average is 262, which is fine. Last year, we saw him walk more than he struck out. I mean, that's so huge for his game. A 420 on base in 58 games. That's crazy for Bryce Harper. He's won an MVP before. He's got the pop. He's got the flow. He's got the swag. And if the Phillies are a good team, it's going to be on the back of Bryce Harper. He's a legit MVP candidate this year. Tampa Bay Rays probably don't have anybody who is going to win the MVP, but for their team, Randy Arozarena. Love me some Randy Arozarena. Slept on him last year. And then you actually start to watch this guy play and you go, oh my God, he's super fast, hits the ball really hard, goes up there taking hacks. Randy Arozarena's sick. Now, granted, we've only seen 42 games of him during the regular season. 8 homers, 3 doubles, 13 RBIs, a 991 OPS. And then you include the postseason where he has 91 plate appearances, 10 homers, 14 RBIs, 8 walks, a 1219 OPS. Like, we've seen Randy Arozarena be really good for about a 60-game stretch. He's got to be your MVP pick for the Rays. Right at the halfway point here, team number 15, Washington Nationals, Juan Soto. I love Trey Turner, but how do you pick against Juan Soto? Juan Soto is arguably the best hitter on the planet, and he's only 22 years old. Last year in 47 games, 351 average, 490 on base, 695 slugging, 1185 OPS. Yeah, if he just played more games and the Nationals were better, he should have been a lock for the MVP. He's ridiculous. He's so good. The power, the plate discipline, it's unmatched. He walked 41 times last year, struck out 28. Juan Soto, MVP pick for the Nationals. That's it. I'm sorry. Don't want to hear anything else. Up next, the other best hitter and, well, best player on the planet, Mike Trout for the Angels, in case you didn't know what team he's on. Yeah, Mike Trout, do I really need to explain myself? His 162 game average for his career is 39 homers, 34 doubles, 103 RBIs, 26 stolen bases, a 304 average with a 418 on base, 582 slugging, and 1,000 OPS. Three-time MVP award winner, has never finished outside the top 5. Mike Trout, MVP. Best player of all time, possibly. Back out to the Bay Area, this time for the Oakland A's. Matt Chapman is my pick. I had a hard time with the Oakland A's. I was thinking Laureano, but thinking of total impact and how much value someone will have, it's hard to beat Matt Chapman for the A's. Down year last year, battled a little injuries, but he's looking like he's back and he's healthy. We know he's got pop in that bat. He put up an 850 OPS basically for his career in Oakland, which is really impressive, along with the great defense. Sky's the limit for him. People think that this guy could eventually become the best third baseman in baseball, has one of the best gloves, huge part of that Oakland A's team. I think he's an easy MVP pick for them. Back to the National League we go. Arizona, a little dry desert action. Ketel Marte. Arizona doesn't have a lot of great choices. Ketel Marte seems like the obvious one. 2019, he finished 4th in the MVP voting. 2020, that's a year we want to forget about. Only 2 home runs, but still 14 doubles. But overall wasn't a great year. I mean, 19 though, we saw 32 homers, 36 doubles, 9 triples, 10 stolen bases, 981 OPS. I think that's more of the Ketel Marte we can expect to see. Is it a lock? Absolutely not. But on this Diamondbacks team, I think he has the best shot to win the MVP. For the Miami Marlins, not doing much this year, but Brian Anderson, he's a fun player to watch. Brian Anderson's a guy as a Mets fan that I really don't like playing, but I enjoy watching. He's a really good ball player. I think he plays a pretty good third base. I like his approach at the plate. And at 28 years old, I think this is the year that Brian Anderson finally takes that step to the next level and becomes a huge part of that Marlins core. Not just a really good player, but like the guy over there. 2020, 11 homers, 7 doubles, and 810 OPS after an 811 OPS in 2019, 757 2018. You're seeing constant improvements from his game, and I expect that to continue into 2021. This is a guy who can easily beat 30 home runs, 35, 40 doubles a season. He's good, really good. Weird pick coming up here for the Kansas City Royals. I'm going to the catcher position, Salvador Perez. Now I know his catching defensively is not what it once used to be, but if he catches a full season and is healthy and puts up the offensive numbers he did for Kansas City in 2020, 11 homers, 12 doubles in 37 games with a 986 OPS, 333 average, 353 on base, 633 slugging, it is going to be really hard to not pick a catcher who puts up that kind of offensive production as a possible MVP candidate. I mean, even last year he finished 17th in only 37 games for a bad Royals team. Salvador Perez, interestingly enough, if he can somehow keep it up for a full season, definitely the MVP of that team, maybe even an MVP candidate, a top 10 guy possibly. But of course, he needs that crazy production. Boston Red Sox, this guy's really good. It's Alex Verdugo. Now, he's never going to be a guy who hits 40 homers in a season. He is average and on base first and extra base hits machine. 2020, 6 homers, 16 doubles, 15 RBIs, a 308 average, 367 on base, 478 slugging, 844 OPS. OPS plus at 126, finished 12th in the MVP voting. Plays a really good outfield, is going to be at the top of the order for them, setting the table. I think he can be a 25 homer, 40 double kind of guy in Boston, playing exceptional defense out there. He is going to be extremely important to the Red Sox success in 2021. I think more so than any other player on this team. Now, let's head north of the border. Staying in the American League East, though, Bo Bichette of the Toronto Blue Jays. I wanted to pick Vlad Jr. so badly, but Bo Bichette's still there, and Bo Bichette's the better player, and it's the safer pick. It's boring, but he's so good. In 75 games in his major league career, 16 homers, 27 doubles, 307 average, 347 on base, 549 slugging, and 896 OPS. Need him to put together a fully healthy season. Excited to see what he can do for a full 162. He's a great hitter, solid shortstop. Bo Bichette, Bo Flo, he's my pick for the MVP on the Blue Jays. Now, the Baltimore Orioles aren't going anywhere this year, but we have to pick an MVP for them, and I think it's going to be Trey Mancini. First off, coming back from colon cancer as he has is an incredible feat of its own. He can win an MVP award for that, but also he's a really good hitter. 2019 is last season, 35 homers, 38 doubles, 97 RBIs, 899 OPS, 291 average, 364 on base, 535 slugging. What's going to maybe hurt Trey Mancini is he's probably not going to play a full 150 game schedule this year. Going to need some off days in between there. Going to keep things a little relaxed with him, especially because this season's not too important for the Orioles. But let's just say that Trey Mancini comes back full health. He's ready to go. He's hot. This is a guy that can win the Orioles a lot of ball games this year with his bat. He's that good of a hitter. So that's why I pick him as the MVP. Hey, finally, my New York Mets, Francisco Lindor. A lot of great players to choose from, but I'm picking Francisco Lindor. I think he is the difference maker right now for this Mets team from the last few years. You add him to the shortstop position. The defense and offense and base running he provides is just something we haven't had at shortstop, honestly, since Jose Reyes, and even then Lindor is better. 2020 was a down year, but he admitted to not necessarily playing as hard because he was discouraged with the situation in Cleveland. Instead, look at 17 through 19 where he averaged 30 plus homers, 40 plus doubles, 20 plus stolen bases, and played Gold Glove defense. This is a generational talent. Hopefully the Mets pay the guy, and hopefully I can make an extension video coming up soon here because I want him on the Mets for the rest of time. Lindor is my MVP pick. Easy. Oh man, I gotta pick someone for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Guess the obvious choice is Brian Hayes. He's by and large the most talented player on his team. The Pirates don't have a lot, but also Brian Hayes is a good player. This is a guy who I think can go into the top 10 third baseman in Major League Baseball by the end of the year. Really fantastic glove at third base. Hits for a high average. We saw a little bit of power last year. If that power continues to develop like we've seen, he continues to hit for a high average. Be patient at the plate. Brian Hayes is going to be a fun player to watch. He would be a reason why you'd want to watch Pittsburgh Pirates baseball. He's my choice for their MVP. Now for the other New York team, the Yankees. A lot of really good players over there. And as much as I want to pick DJ LeMahieu because he just gets no respect, it's got to be Aaron Judge. This Yankee team kind of lives and dies a little bit with Aaron Judge. They're a better team when he's on the field. It's obvious. What he brings at the plate, what he brings in the field, it's hard to find around Major League Baseball. He's a special player. The issue with Judge is he just hasn't been on the field much, missing a lot of games over the last few years. So with Aaron Judge, as long as he's healthy, he's easily the MVP of that team. But that's always the big question mark for him. If he's healthy, I think he will be this year, and he might even win himself his first American League MVP. The Pacific Northwest, the Seattle Mariners. I'm going Mitch Haniger. Mitch Haniger hasn't played in a year, keeps getting hurt. But this year he's finally back and healthy. And while spring training wasn't amazing, he's getting back into the swing of things, and he's in his prime, age 30. I'm expecting big things from Mitch. This is a guy with the Mariners who we saw had an 850 OPS in 17 and 18, and even in 2019, through 63 games, 15 homers, 13 doubles. He was just striking out a lot. But Mitch Haniger is a good player. People are forgetting about him because he hasn't played in a year. Honestly, even more than a year. He only played 63 games in 2019, but he's really talented. He's going to be right in the middle of that Mariners lineup. And while I wanted to pick Kyle Lewis, I think Mitch Haniger is going to be a little more valuable this year. If the Mariners are going to be as good as I think they could be, he's going to be a big part of it. The Cincinnati Reds. I'm going with Eugenio Suarez. Suarez is going to be playing a little shortstop this year. And that alone, I think, makes him extremely valuable. If he could be a decent shortstop with the production he puts up at the plate, I mean, he hit 49 homers in 2019. Suarez can be a huge difference maker for the Reds, especially if he can hold that shortstop position. Because if not, they then have to move Moustakas back to second. India has to go to the bench, or they're going to have to make a lot of changes. If he could play short, it gives him so much more variety, so much more flexibility, and it really makes that lineup a lot deeper. So I want to see Eugenio play well. I want to see him dominate at shortstop. His original position, I think he's their MVP in 2021. The penultimate player, second to last of today's video, we're using big SAT words, Chicago White Sox, young talent, I don't want to say star just yet, Yoan Moncada. Moncada was hurt last year due to COVID. He never fully recovered. It apparently had a big impact on his play, and we saw it in his numbers. But if you look at 2019, 132 games, cut down on the strikeouts, 25 homers, 34 doubles, 10 stolen bases, and 915 OPS. That's the Moncada we've all been waiting for, and that's what I think we're going to see this year. Plus, he dropped a song recently, and it's a banger. He's just got too much swag, too much drip, and he's also a really good baseball player that hits balls really hard. Yoan Moncada, White Sox MVP. And then for the last and final team, the San Diego Padres, oh, you know I'm going Fernando Tatis Jr. How can I pick against this guy? Fernando Tatis Jr. is the face of baseball. It would be criminal if I didn't pick him as the MVP for the Padres because he might be the MVP for the league. In 143 games, he's hit 39 homers, 24 doubles, 8 triples, 98 RBIs, and stole 27 bases, 301 average, 374 on base, 582 slugging, 956 OPS, and he's so good in the field. He's so good on the base paths. He is my favorite player in baseball that is not on the New York Mets, and that's an easy choice. Fernando Tatis Jr. is so cool. He's really embracing being like the face of baseball, and he's also good. He's also sick. Easy choice for the San Diego Padres as their MVP. So those are my predictions for the MVP for every single team in the 2021 MLB season. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What picks do you like? What picks do you hate? Drop a like on the video. It does help support the channel, as well as subscribe if you have not yet done so. Follow me on all my social media. Check out the podcast. Links to everything's in the description. And that's where we're wrapping up the video today. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. Opening day's tomorrow. We're going to be back with some huge content coming at you, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.